Hey gang, Scott here. So I talk about photo editing tools a lot on YouTube. It's one of the reasons you're probably seeing this video. You're subscribed to my channel for the photo tips and tricks and a variety of editing tools. If you're not subscribed, hit the button. But the thing I want to talk about here is a golden rule for all of my photo edits. It doesn't matter what photo tools you use to do your processing. It doesn't matter if you jump through several different tools to get the job done. It doesn't matter what genre of photography you are drawn to. Wildlife, landscapes, portraits, doesn't matter. Simple question. What do I want my viewer to see? I ask myself that at the beginning when I'm starting the edit of the photo. I'll repeat that to myself periodically as I'm doing the edit. Why? Because it will guide the edit itself. It will tell me, well, what do I really need to emphasize? Where do I need more detail, less detail, more color, less color? Those things all come back to that question. What do I want my viewer to see? Variations on that question is, why did I take this photo? What's the story of the photo? Think about that as you're doing the edits. I got a few examples I'm going to show you here where that question, what do I want my viewer to see, made the processing of the photo. Let's have a look at this image here. I was driving on, I think, some rural roads in Delaware, saw this cool metal sculpture, nice yellow set against the greens of the forest, and I wanted to take a picture of it, so found a place where I could pull over, walked over and took the photo. And this is what came out of the camera, and this is how I processed it. Why? It's all about this metal sculpture, right? That's the reason I took the photo. When you're driving by this thing, it looks like it's floating. It's just floating in midair. You don't see the support columns and things like that. You see this bright yellow outline of this really cool looking sculpture here against this green backdrop. If you go back to the before, you can see where, all right, there's the support structures. Those were going to come out. I want this just to be floating out there. I want the yellows to pop. I didn't go completely monochrome. I thought about that, but I liked that yellow too much, but really subdued everything else. So what happens? This sculpture jumps out at you. What do I want you to see? I want you to see the artwork. I don't want you to pay attention to the trees in the background, right? Let's have another example here. Let's look at a landscape. This image here, those that have been to Zion National Park, you'll recognize the watchman in the background. But this photo, for me, it was all about this gnarled tree and the river, and I want all your attention drawn inward toward this tree. Here's the original, out of camera. And so the bones of it are here. The composition's decent. We have lines cutting across. We're drawing in here decent separation. So we have these trees and the watchman. They're not interfering with the subject. As I did the basic processing, kind of just brought the tones into play here. But as I was doing all of this, it's still like, okay, I've gotten here. What do I want you to see? The tree. I need to push more toward the tree. And so that's where this stuff came into play. And so everything is really just pushing inward toward this tree. The colors got enriched, of course, and sharpened and so forth. But these are the things that are guiding the processing. What do I want you to see? Let's look at one more example. Then more of a close-up. I put this in the travel category, but it's a close-up of a feature of a particular statue. Here's this close-up of praying hands and a necklace with a cross on it draped over it at a mission in Carmel, California. Why this photo? What do I want you to see? It's the praying hands and the necklace. So let's look at the processing afterward. Right, that necklace is jumping out. Certainly the color as well as the crispness. The hands are coming out. There's more depth and dimension to it. And so all of those really came back to, what do I want you to see? The hands and the necklace. Let's take a closer look here. In the original, pre-processed, there's a lot of orange, and it's competing with the red after, you notice that orange is downplayed. It's not removed, it's just desaturated. There's really not any darkening happening there. It's just being desaturated. Now, certainly when I said the word darkening, you'll have noticed the vignette, right? That's certainly pushing in. There's also a blur effect, right? Kind of blurring up around the top, blurring around toward the bottom, but the center being crisp. That's adding depth, and also our eyes are going to focus on the sharper parts of the image first, before, after, really having that jump out. And it all comes back to that one question, my golden rule: what do I want you to see? This is it's a really good question to ask yourself as you're doing your processing. The tools are so powerful. It doesn't matter really what you're using, as long as you know what your story is, what you want your viewer to see. You have them in your toolkit. You have the tools. Just start using them in a way that will push your viewer's eye toward the things that are important in your photo. I hope you found the video useful, maybe a little inspiring. Go ahead and leave any comments or questions you like below. And until next time, my name's Scott Davenport. Have fun.